Welcome to the Encore Effect, the podcast where music takes center stage in life's second act. Brought to you by Encore Creativity, America's largest choral organization for adults 55 and older. This inspiring series celebrates the transformative power of music, community, and creativity in the later years of life. Each episode will share moving personal stories from encore singers across the country and dive into fascinating conversations with experts in neuroscience, gerontology, and the arts. Discover how choral singing is boosting brain health, improving well-being, and lighting up the lives of thousands of older adults nationwide. From retirees finding their voice for the first time, to the science behind why doctors are prescribing music for the mind, the Encore Effect proves that creativity is endless. Join us and let the music move you.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. We hope that you are enjoying these conversations and learning all about Encore Creativity and the amazing organization that it is and the wonderful people who intersect, whether it's conductors or partners or funders or singers. And today I'm so excited to talk to one of our supporters and one of our singers, Jamie Wooten. Jamie Wooten is a tenor with both DC Chorale and DC Rocks and resides in Chevy Chase. Professionally, he enjoyed a 20-plus year career in Hollywood, writing and producing 400 episodes of television, including many seasons of the classic sitcom The Golden Girls. That's right, you heard it, The Golden Girls, an amazing show, spending every day laughing with them and the deliciously dirty-minded Betty White. He won the Writers Guild of America Award working with those wonderful women. He wrote comedy for many others, including George Burns, Cindy Williams, Barbara Mandrell, Tyne Daly, RuPaul, Debbie Reynolds, Dolly Parton, and Little Richard. What a list. Today, he's part of the writing trio Jones Hope Wooten, the most produced playwriting team in America. He's also a BMI songwriter with many songs recorded by other artists and many tunes placed in television series and feature films. And in his life, he's developed singing telegrams, served as a cruise director on Princess Cruises, jet skied around Bora Bora, performed on Broadway, farmed tobacco in rural North Carolina, climbed to the apex of Angkor Wat, comforted veterans on the shores of Guadalcanal, been complimented by Mel Brooks, saved the lives of feral cats in Hawaii, made burritos at Del Taco, sung ballads for Michael Feinstein, and yodeled for Melissa Etheridge. And he served on the sound crew for the Pope's visit to Los Angeles, at that time breaking his leg jumping off of a stage. He also has an unnatural affinity for the music of ABBA. Jamie, what is it that you don't do? I feel like that's the question.
That's hilarious. Yes. Wow. Can you be my publicist from now on?
I feel like that might be the most interesting bio I have ever read out loud. Congratulations.
Well, really, I have given life everything I had until this point.
So, there's so many cool memories, people you've worked for, people you worked with, songs that you've written. There's no way to pick a favorite, right? I mean, that list is so incredible.
No, I do have one. I have one.
Oh, okay. Tell us.
Those like caution, name dropping about to happen. So I was working in the late 90s. I was working with Dolly, and we needed to have a meeting, and she invited me to her house. So she had this sweet little house up in Beverly Hills, and I arrived, and I thought, there'd be a bunch of people there. It was just me and Dolly, and I worked with her all day, and she made dinner for me. It was just the two of us. But that's not the great thing. The great thing is when we were done with dinner and we were cleaning up the dishes, she had a vase of roses on her table, and I just absentmindedly started singing her song "Yellow Roses," which was a big hit for her. And I was just singing it, and she came in and she stood behind me and she started harmonizing with me. So we sang the whole song as a duet in her house.
Oh
Like
my
the
goodness.
moments of my life.
What a cool memory. I mean, Dolly Parton is just, of course, an icon. I can't tell you how many times I've heard our singers at Encore go, do you think Dolly Parton would ever endorse Encore? So maybe if Dolly Parton listens to this podcast, she'll say how great singing is for older adults. Okay, but here's the big question. Is Dolly Parton a good cook?
Yes, she made ribs. And I kept going, oh, how is she going to eat these ribs with those nails? And boy, she outfoxed me. She put out a pair of Playtex rubber gloves that went up to her elbows. And it was fascinating.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So you have had such an illustrious career, Jamie, in doing so many cool things in the arts. What got you started? Like little kid Jamie, teenager Jamie, what put you on this path of the arts?
It's really strange because I grew up really poor and farming tobacco with my family who were tenant farmers. And my dad was a used car salesman. But evidently, when I was 4, I was that kid that they would haul around to these gospel music events all over North Carolina. I was the kid they plopped up on the piano bench to sing, and for the crowd. And evidently we did that for a few years. So I was always a singer. And as soon as I got into school, I was nothing but singing, chorus singing, choir singing, church singing. Just I was never not part of that. So music was always in my life.
So music and singing was the beginning of your journey. Went into playwriting and screenwriting and all sorts of things, but music was the kind of catalyst to get you going.
Well, it was because I was so into choral singing that I went to Governor's School in North Carolina for choral arts, which really changed everything for me because we were singing, German lieder and French chanson, and we did Fauré's Requiem, which to this day is my favorite piece of music. I've sung it many times. If anyone out there is doing the Fauré Requiem, let me know. I will show up.
It's a great piece.
Full ride choral scholarship to UNC Chapel Hill, and but the summer before I went to college, I also went to summer stock theater in northern Michigan near Petoskey, sponsored by a group called the Young Americans. And it was their lark because they were a choral group, a massive choral group. And I went up there for the summer, and by the end of the summer, they had asked me to join the group back in Los Angeles. So 2 weeks before I was supposed to start college, I even already had my dorm room at UNC. I switched and went to the West Coast instead and joined the Young Americans choral group. And for 5 years, I traveled around the world with them. And I did 2 national tours. And for 6 months, I was on the French Riviera because we were the featured entertainment down there in Cannes. And the choral singing in that group was unbelievable. And from there, I went into variety entertainment because I could sing and dance. So I did Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, Virginia, and Princess Cruises, where I was performing cruise director. And then one night during a storm, we were performing on a marble floor. I fell and I shattered my knee.
Oh my goodness.
And I knew that I wouldn't be singing and dancing anymore, and I had to think of something else to do, but I didn't know how to do anything else. The only thing I'd ever done is watch television. So, I taught myself how to write television and moved to Los Angeles. While I was waiting to break in, I got a great legit job. I was actually the secretary to the vice president of MCA Records. So I had a lot of power for a while when we were representing Elton John and Tom Petty and Reba McEntire. But then I finally got a job in television, and that's how that started. And then I did that for 20 years. And then after that, I got too old to do television, and I was a playwright.
Wow. So it's amazing how these little things happen along our journeys that point us in different directions. And
Absolutely.
who would have ever thought a shattered knee would have put you on the journey that you
Right.
ended up doing? That's so, but you left singing for a while, right? Like this was singing was a big part of your life, choral singing, entertaining, but then you left it and then you came back to us. Tell us about that.
I tried to keep my hand in when I was a writer and producer in Hollywood. I was also a cabaret performer, and I performed at all the places in Los Angeles. You know, the Cinegrill at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel and the Rose Tattoo and the Backlot. And I would always do my shows as fundraisers for Project Angel Food, which was AIDS Project Los Angeles offshoot. So I did that for a while, and I was always entertainment at a lot of people's parties for some reason because I knew how to yodel, which is, you know, it's not a skill you aspire to; it's just something that you're given. And I was really I could yodel my butt off back in the day, I have to say. And so I tried to keep my hand in music, but then it just got away from me, and I just got so busy with my career, it drifted away. So that's why Encore was such a godsend to me after all these years.
And tell us how you found out about Encore.
Um. Uh. Okay. I was trying to find something to do after my I wrote this story in the newsletter in July, the July newsletter. I won't go through the whole thing, but if you read it, you know that my husband died 30 years and very suddenly. And a couple of days before he died, he turned to me out of the blue and said, "You should go back to music, your music." And I thought, why did he say that? So eventually, you know, as I was trying to recover, I thought, well, maybe there's something to that, and I should. And I tried a group that didn't work out, but on a subway platform, the DC Metro, Mary Paget, who is both my rocks and choral group, she handed me one of the business cards for Encore and said, "Why don't you come sing with us?" And I looked it up online and I went, "This could work." And I showed up, and again in the newsletter, I said, you know, when you're a male tenor and you show up at Encore, you know, they do everything but bring you hot tea and a seat cushion. And uh, the Mary Clark and Mary Paget, after I put that in the newsletter, the very first rehearsal of this season, I walked in and they had set up a table with hot tea
And secret,
for me,
I love
sweetest thing you'd ever seen. But I there was something about walking into that room. Everyone was so welcoming to me, and I loved the experience so much. It's really has saved me. It's changed everything for me in my life today, to the point where I'm also signing up for Broadway for next
it.
semester. So I'll be in three of the groups, and I'm so grateful to Encore for what they have done for me and brought music back to me, and brought my voice back as well.
I love that. And you know, singing in any choir is special, and we know the benefits of what that brings to our lives from a health perspective, from a social perspective, emotional. Is there anything that you found? You know, you said everyone was welcoming as you came in, but was there anything else that was just special about Encore? You know, as you got started.
I have to say, this is big Vickery, seriously. Um, that I've sung with a lot of choral directors in my life. I am seriously impressed and shocked at the depth of talent that you have in your conductors. You know, because I've sung with Catherine, I've sung with David Lang, who is hilarious. But I work every week with Joey Clark and Stephen Harriff, and I have learned so much from those two men, and I look forward to being with them every time. And you know, I with all of my choral training, I'm the guy who sits up straight and has my feet on the floor, and you know, I know how to never take my eyes off the conductor. But I would say that the talent of the conductors is the thing that I have been blown away with on top of everything else. I love the people in both of my choruses, and especially the tenor sections. I love my tenor sections, but the conductors, it is the thing that has really blown me away.
That's amazing. You know, we have 34 conductors in our team, and I think that is one of the beautiful things. Not only are they all extremely talented in their own right, if you live in a place like in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, we have programs in 12 states, but you can hop around to different rehearsals and get to
Yeah,
experience different conductors, and every
yeah,
one of them brings new perspective to the music that you're learning.
yes.
So tell us a little bit about, you know, in your life, where music has been something that has helped you besides just recently, which we know that was a life raft for you? Were there other times throughout your life where music seemed to be the thing that saved you?
Yes, I'm going to actually share something with you that happened very recently. Um, and it's one of those beautiful, awful things that happen. My best friend, and I had known it was coming for a year. She had a terminal illness, and she had requested that I go with her to the clinic in Switzerland, where she was going to end her life. And I respect the hell out of that, and it was an honor. And there were four of us that were there, and this happened in September. And I flew over to Zurich to join them in the clinic, and it was a beautiful experience with an incredibly empathetic staff. But the reason I bring it up with music is that on the final morning, when we were all there prepared to say goodbye, she had chosen a playlist of all of her favorite songs, and it was just playing in the background. Sometimes you would catch it, sometimes you were busy talking. But in the last moments, when we were all with her near the bed, she told us to sit with her on the bed, and we knew there were seconds left. And as we were sitting there holding her, the Elton John's Tiny Dancer came on, the music. And we just all automatically started singing it at the same time. And it was just such a beautiful moment. You hold me closer, tiny dancer. And by the end of the song, she was gone. We sang her out of this world. I, I'll never, I'll never get over that moment. But music made that moment possible and tolerable and actually beautiful.
Thank you for sharing that. I know that was had to be a beautiful but also hard moment, and thank you for sharing that because it's true. Music really does help us through so many things in life and help soothe our hearts, or give us joy. There's all these different things that music brings to us. What would you consider your own life song? Like, is there something that encaptures your life story? I mean, I'm an Elton John fan too. I think Elton John's amazing. But is there something that resonates with you that you want to share with our listeners?
You mean besides the music of ABBA?
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, we could just say all music of ABBA, yes.
But honestly, it's because that music is so joyful. So I know it sounds strange, but in a way, I would say that is so me. In that I'm a joyful person, and I try to be a very positive person. I've been through some tough times lately, but music, the joy of music, which is why I'm so attracted to Encore, because every time I leave a rehearsal, I'm just walking on air. It's all about joy. If I had to tell anyone why should you join Encore, it's because it's unmitigated joy for you. It just fills your soul. So yes, I'll proudly say the music of ABBA is represents me. You bet.
So talk to us about, we are a program and we are an organization serving those that are 55 and older, which we consider older adults. And older adults, you could be 55 or you could be 85, or we have people close to 100 performing in one of our choirs. But what are some myths out there you think about aging and creativity, or aging and performing, aging and doing things that you love that need to be challenged in our society?
I know the main one, and we found this out when we used to do a lot of research on Golden Girls when I was on the show. And one of the ones that we found is, like, we were going, why do kids watch the show? And they watched it because of Funny Grandma, or they watched it with their grandparents. That was a big thing that we always wanted to know. But to answer your question, the absolute answer is that there's a myth, um, that goes both for retail and life, that people over a certain age will not try anything new.
Mm.
And I say that is absolutely not true. Anyone who has joined this group proves that wrong. And even the people that I talk to, my friends in the group, they're always looking for things to do. They're always looking for new adventures. They're always trying to expand their lives. I don't know why that myth exists, but it's just not true.
It is absolutely out there for sure. And it's interesting, Jamie, because we've seen since COVID, COVID did change a lot of things about our society or challenged a lot of things about our society. And we have heard from so many people who are now singing with us that they almost feel like COVID stole time from them. And so they're
Yeah.
going to go out and do everything that they've always wanted to do, but never did. So I feel like that is even more true now, that older adults are going out and experiencing life and capturing every moment. I think COVID and other times throughout history, right? But this recent, it kind of made all of us go, wait a second, we can't take community, we can't take singing, we can't take music, we can't take being together for granted. We have to live every day to its fullest. And so we've seen a huge influx of growth over the last few years. And so many people say it's time for me to try something new.
Excellent. That is absolutely true. It's very true in travel as well. I travel a lot, and a lot of people were so mad after COVID that they felt their travel years were stolen from them. Same reasoning.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's keep challenging that myth.
That's right.
You and me and Encore, Jamie. Let's keep making sure people know they can go out and do something new. So if you were giving advice to people who were thinking about trying out music, we're no auditions, right? We give
Right.
all sorts of tools to learn the music. We have classes, we have great conductors who work with everyone in the space. If someone's listening to this podcast and they're like, I would love to sing, I'd love to be in a choir, but I just don't know, what would you say to them?
I actually have an answer to that because, last week was Bring a Friend to Work week, which was very successful, especially in the DC Corral. We had a lot of people. And I had a guy sitting beside me who was trying it out, and he actually said almost those exact words to me. And he also said, I don't read music. So because I knew the rules of what y'all have set up, I explained to him, you don't need to do this. You have tracks, you can listen to it. There's online practice sessions. You have set the world up so beautifully for someone who is not an experienced choral singer, but they want to experience the joy of the music and the friendship and just and be there. You've set it up for success for every single person of every level. All they have to do is embrace it. You've offered it up in such a great way. So I would say it's all there waiting for you. It's very simple. Come and play with us and make your life more joyful.
I cannot believe we're already out of time. We said that we could talk all day, and our time is already up. And I have like 3,000 more things I want to ask you. So we're gonna have you back, Jamie. But
Okay.
we'll leave with this question because I have lots of friends who love the Golden Girls. So I'm gonna send them all this podcast.
Yes.
But G-rated, what's your favorite lines that you wrote for the Golden Girls?
Oh my gosh. I will tell you the favorite. There's a few favorite bits. I wrote the Sonny and Cher episode where Dorothy and Sophia go to a mother-daughter pageant dressed as Sonny and Cher and sing "I Got You, Babe." That was me. I did the Rusty Anchor episode where Blanche and Dorothy both sing at the Rusty Anchor and are vying for the attention of all the men there. And and there's an episode with Hal Linden that I wrote where it's Dorothy's prom date who stood her up, but she finds out why and how Sophia was involved. And there's a moment in it where they've made up, and Sophia asks Dorothy to sit on her lap, like old times. And Dorothy does, and then she almost crushes her, and Sophia's like, "Get off, get off, get off!" It's such a long laugh because it was so real. And the other lines I really don't think I can safely say on this podcast.
Jamie, you are an absolute joy. Thank you for coming on the podcast and sharing just a little bit of your journey. You are inspiring, and we're so glad that you found Encore.
Thank you, Josh.
And friends, thanks so much for listening to the podcast. We'll see you next time on Encore Effect.